What if I told you that we could measure the pace of automation in financial services? It'd be a pretty neat trick. It would certainly provide some new perspective on the impacts of new technologies, new methods, even new supply chain configurations, outsourcing and managed services, the impact and pervasiveness of artificial intelligence and machine learning, and the latest acronym, robotic process automation, RPA. Not to mention all the talk of blockchain and distributed ledger technology, or the impact of MiFID II or FRTB. What these impacts are having on the various players in the ecosystem. Now here's where Alphacution's research strategy and modeling methodology comes into play. Let's return to our example of the modeling we've done in the banking sector. Our model library currently consists of 60 of the largest banks in the world, diversified across 16 countries, 11 currencies, and most of these models going back to 2005, so that we can capture whatever operational volatility may have resulted from the global financial crisis and all of the aftermath that's happened since then. For each of these models, we collect just 3 data points per period, not including any currency translation. The first of which gets us to market sizing, and that's by looking at what does a particular bank spend at the enterprise level on technology. What is their enterprise TCO? Now, when we get to the point where we take individual models and add them up into what we call composite models, so we have a composite global banking model, this individual spending amongst the largest players, and then extrapolating what we estimate to be the total industry, gives us a reliable and credible view of what the pie, the total pie of technology spending is for the global banking sector. And that has implications not just for high-level analysis and growth rates and trajectories and so forth, but it has implications as we get deeper and deeper and deeper into modeling of the various segments, into the various regions, into the various asset classes, into the various businesses that are going on within the portfolios of some of the larger banking conglomerates, so that each detailed piece, each detailed market sizing exercise is still adding up to our view of the total value of the pie. Now, we want to go further in that. We want to go from market sizing to benchmarking. And the question is, well, how do we do that? And that gets to the second data point. The second data point we collect per period, per company, is total headcount, total employee headcount, otherwise sometimes known as full-time equivalents. When you have this broad sample, you have diversity of scale. You have a mega bank in the US or China or in Europe that spends multiples of the budget that you might find of an investment bank or a custody bank or a dealer. So in order to perform benchmarking amongst the broader sample, as well as some of the segmented samples, retail banks versus wholesale banks, for instance, we have to normalize enterprise TCO by something, and headcount, total full-time equivalents, which is reported in every financial statement, is the best way to do that normalization. That gets us to benchmarking of technology spending. And this gives us a new level of intelligence around how to benchmark spending patterns among subsectors within banking. Now we can go even one step further than that gets to our initial provocative claim about measuring the pace of automation. And that's the third data point, which is revenue. One of the biggest discoveries that we've made in this journey of modeling is that it really doesn't matter so much what the absolute spending on technology is. It's the return that you achieve from your investment in technology. Return on technology something that we often call technical leverage. And so when we compare the spread of revenue per employee, RPE, with the cost of that performance from a technology perspective, TCO per employee, that spread and the change in that spread is a very valuable indicator about business model and operations and technology spending. It really gets into a lot of nuance about who the leaders are and who the laggards are and why they're leaders and laggards. Do they defy their scale? Do they employ technology better than their peers? Or are they having to maintain what we call tech debt? They've got too much legacy technology and it actually weighs them down from performing or optimizing their performance. So this is a new layer of intelligence that gets us to measuring and quantifying and modeling and benchmarking the pace of automation in financial services, which is important in and of itself, but in specific, this is important to both technology buyers and technology sellers. From a solution provider perspective, our understanding is this level of intelligence, this level of understanding of different buyers, different prospective clients or existing clients is a very effective new sales enablement tool that can also get into product design and strategy and other aspects of designing and selling and maintaining and growing relationships with the buyers of technology. So that's very important. Certainly on the technology buyer side, this is useful information in terms of budgeting and other strategy initiatives. Are we spending too much? Are we not spending enough? Where do we stack up relative to our peers? How is the balance between our technology capital and our human capital? These are all signals that are coming out of the research that we're doing here at Alphacution. Now, we got more to say about this benchmarking framework. We'll bookmark here from now, and thank you for watching.